Hello. Today we're going to look at two different things and really a mixture of two things. So on my right side here, just have water. So it's going to be 125 milliliters of water. Nothing interesting. DI water, don't worry about it. Our Lewis structure here is going to look something like this, and that's going to be really important to the explanation of what happens here in a little bit. On the left-hand side, we have, again, 125 milliliters of ethanol. We added a little bit of coloring to it just so that we can see the difference here. But really the big thing that we need to think about is we've got a different structure now for ethanol. So we have the same volumes, but something really interesting is going to happen when we mix the two together. So I'm going to do that. Again, remember, mixing these two things, you would think that we're going to have a final volume of 250 milliliters. Now, let's see if that happens. Almost all of that out of there. So kind of mixing a little bit. You can see that sort of pink contrast from the ethanol. Little bit of the bubbling is going to settle down, but the real thing to see here is that, well, we didn't make it quite to 250. So our volume is below that. And what's interesting here is to think about, okay, well, what's happening between the interactions of these two things? When we started, the density of our water is higher than the density of our ethanol. We mix the two. Additively, you think we should have 250 milliliters, but we don't. We have, I would say, about 247. What's happening here is really an argument of intermolecular forces. So when we mix these two things, we're actually disrupting the hydrogen bonding and some other things happening within both structures. And what that causes is this volume change. We see a decrease in volume because of this interaction. This is the simplest way that I know to show, right, and really illustrate how those forces interact with each other. And how they can affect something simple like volume.